Greetings, friends. Welcome to Chapter 9, Multiplying and Dividing Decimals. I'll just give you the heads up right off the bat. If you can remember your long multiplication and long division, you're going to rock the house on this chapter. We're just going to add a little bit of extra to it, which would be the decimal bit, and you'll totally have this. All right. And yeah, my little raccoon friend believes in y'all as well. So yeah, it's Mr. McCarthy back for more. Let's go through this introduction and get rolling on Chapter 9. Okay. The whole idea. When you have numbers with decimals, the multiplication works the exact same way as it does when you're dealing with whole numbers. Okay. Really, all you got to do is figure out what to do with your decimal point when you're all done with the computations. Oh, and Maddie and her friend are buying apples and pears and using decimals because dollars and cents are all about decimals. Yeah, boom. And here's a little preview of what we're going to do. We're going to multiply and divide and estimate and convert metric units, even though we're one of maybe two countries in the world that didn't fully adapt the metric system, but it is what it is. Okay. Remember earlier this year when you're multiplying by 10, 100, and 1,000, or powers of 10, and so on, you're really just, if you look at the place value chart for 23 and you've got 2 chips in the tens place and 3 in the ones place, if you multiply by 10, you're just moving all of your number chips over one spot. So these 2 tens jump over to the hundreds and these 3 ones jump over to the tens. And if you're multiplying by 100 or 1,000, all right, McCarthy, get out of here. If you're multiplying by 100, you're coming over 2 places, and if you're multiplying by 1,000, you're coming over 3 places with your chips. The other thing to think of, or that I like to kind of point out, is if you're moving your digits one direction, like in this case, we're moving all of our digits over to the left. If you think about it, your decimal point's actually moving over to the right. In this case, when you're multiplied by 10, you're going one step to the right. Multiplied by 100, your decimal's going over 2 places, and by 1,000, it's going over 3 places. Okay? When you're multiplying, whole numbers by tens, hundreds, and thousands, if you're doing 8 times 30, you can break that into an 8 times 3 times 10, or 24 times 10, or 24 and stick a 0 on it. Same thing here, the 6 times 5,000, you're really doing the 6 times 5 is 30 times 100. That's 500, not 5,000. And the same thing here, 12 times 4,000, 12 times 4 is 48 times 1,000 is 1,000. Dividing, as you know, is the opposite of multiplication. When you're dividing by 10, 100, and 1,000, you're moving your place value chips 1, 2, or 3 spaces to the right. And then as you move those items to the right, just think that your decimal is now going to the left. So if you go, oh, I don't have my pen tool up. So if you're doing 13,000 divided by 10, you're actually going to get 1,300. If you're doing 13,000 divided by 100, you're going to have 130. Oh, there's my pen tools. So again, here's my number. And really, when you have a whole number, your decimal's right there. If I multiply by 10, that decimal's going over one spot and I'm getting 1,300. If I'm multiplying or dividing by 100, it's going over 2 spots and you're getting 130, 130. And if you're dividing by 1,000, it's going over 3 spots and you're getting 13. So again, think of the decimal moving when you're doing this. You can pause and read this division, opposite of multiplication. There is some, I'll show you the trick, I don't care. Okay, when you're doing 90 divided by 30, if you're dividing by numbers that have zeros at the end, you can cross out pairs of zeros, meaning I can cross out that 0 and that 0. You're basically dividing each one by 10 and just doing 9 divided by 3. If you have 2 there, cross out 2 there, and you're doing 6 divided by 2, and you're getting 3. You cross out the 3 here and 3 here. You got 12 divided by 6 is 2. Now, and that even works. Let's see if I've got 2,400 divided by 30. You have to cross them out in pairs. So you cross that, and you cross that out. You still have a 0 here. What you got? 24 divided by 3 is 8. That 0 stays. You got an 80. I'm not explaining this because this should be review. If you need explanation, go do an Excel lesson on this, find the Khan Academy video, talk to your teacher, but this is supposed to be review, otherwise I'd be giving you a lot more explanation, okay? All right, estimating quotients you've done. Remember, you're not just necessarily rounding to the nearest 100, 10, or 1,000, you're trying to find compatible numbers. You know, in this case, 186 divided by 12. 190 divided by 10 works. So yeah, I think that's that. When you're adding and subtracting with decimals, it's the same as adding and subtracting with any other numbers. You must have your decimals lined up because place value is critically important when you're adding and subtracting decimals. Okay? Again, review. Subtracting, same way. Have your place value lined, have your decimals lined up so that you can just subtract as usual. Okay? What it says here, if you're subtracting that, which would look like okay, if you're doing that, do not get caught in the trap of going, okay, that's not correct. Okay, you need to have this 0 here. Okay, you need to have that 0 there. You can't just pretend it doesn't exist. Okay, then you can borrow from the 8. I know this is written right below, but there you go. Okay, so they call that a placeholder 0. So don't forget that. Again, I'll review. Take a minute to read this. This is converting metric units. You can pause me. I'm just going to let you read it. Nothing to really explain that you can't read yourself. And let's continue. Same thing. Pause me. I'll restart in 3, 2, pause me, 1. All right, moving on. Workbook. Oh, I don't think there's workbook pages. The quick chapter 9 is in your book. So your teacher might want to do this with you in person. You might need to fill this out in a Pear Deck. You might need to just do this on your own. Whatever your teacher asks for, do it. This is all review. And as always, oh, sorry, it's kind of late tonight. As always, I fully believe in you. You're tremendous mathematicians and probably just all-around super people. So good luck, rock the house, and I will see you tomorrow for lesson 9.1. Bye. Yeah, you guys can do this. Go to the slides and do this, or just pause me. Pause me for a slide. Pause me now. Okay, you can pause me again. I'll wait for it. And here's the last one. And I'm under 10 minutes. I'm just beyond brilliant. All right, that's it. Okay, see ya. Bye.